What do you do when danger looms? How do you act when you are face to face with an impending crisis? Do you brace to fight? Do you run away as far as you can, or do you freeze, avoiding to face that perceived danger at all cost? In this video, we will explore the fight, flight, freeze survival response and why this primal automatic system just may have you living your life on autopilot. Fight, freeze response is the way your body naturally reacts to danger by helping you to react quickly to perceived threats and danger. These responses cause the body and hormone to change in a way that makes it easy for you to protect yourself by acting quickly. The FFF was first described by a physiologist, Walter Cannon, in 1920. And has further been refined to understand how people react in the face of danger, whether that is to a saber-toothed tiger or that new job interview. These adaptive bodily responses kept our ancestors alive from sudden danger that risked their lives. Adrenaline and cortisol pumped through their bodies as soon as they perceived the threat. This allowed focused energy in the body systems it needed most for survival. Blood is pumped to the major muscles, and the heart pumps oxygen faster so they can fight or flee with more speed and force. Their hearing is enhanced, and their vision is narrowed so they can focus on the path to safety while hearing the distance their predator follows behind. All other systems go offline. Digestion slows or even stops so the body can divert all its internal energy to facing that perceived threat. After all, when you are running for your life, I'm pretty sure that going to do a number 2 will be the last thing on your mind. This biochemical response is an automatic reaction for both humans and animals when they experience intense stress or fear. Unable to be controlled, it can, however, be managed to help make the best decision required by the situation at hand. The fight, flight, freeze aims to help a person minimize and or even avoid the impending danger, even if that was only imagined. Fight means that you decide to face the danger head on by confronting the threat. This can be throwing an object to distract a growling dog or kicking an assailant. During this response, there is an increased oxygen level in your major muscles. Your senses also become heightened. You hear the tiniest of sounds and you see so much better. You feel minimal pain and all of your senses work together so you can get to safety by getting the threat out of the way. Flight is an active defense response where you flee from the danger. Your senses are also heightened in the same way it would be during the fight response, but the only thing you do at this point is to garner the strength to run from the scene. Instead of throwing an object at the dog, you probably would run into the nearby stall and close the door. Freeze is fight and flight on hold. When the ability to fight or an opportunity to flee is off the table, the only thing left to do is play dead. They become temporarily immobile, but remains attentive. As their body prepares for an injury, their ability to feel deadens and the blood will thicken to minimize the loss of blood and feeling of pain. Freezing is all about keeping you alive at the moment. When the danger has finally passed, the experience can imprint on the nervous system. When this happens, the person is often to be found hypervigilant in the prevention of future danger. If you would like to know how to identify the fight, flight, freeze response, here's how. Your body will decide in the moment flat, based on your sensory input and your stored memory, which one it's going for. This primitive portion of the brain designed for your survival will then sound an alarm through your nervous system, stimulating the release of adrenaline and cortisol. Some of the ways to identify when your body is giving you that signal on what to do are that the heart rate beats faster to bring oxygen to your major muscles. Breathing becomes heightened and rapid. The skin produces more sweat and you may become cold or even look pale. Your blood will thicken as it prepares for injury. The eyes and ears become sharper and pay more attention to what's happening around you. As much as the response can be helpful and is the reason humanity exists today, our survival response just may be at the core of all of our healthcare issues today. In modern society, we have traded the word fear for stress. Avoiding a saber-toothed tiger is now avoiding judgment or rejection. No matter what the source or cause, the results stay the same in their adverse effects on the body. Adrenaline at high levels causes inflammation, increasing chances for degenerative disease. Cortisol replaces adrenaline for its longer effect on the body, causing more heart problems in adults. Metabolism slows down, impacting health issues in obesity. Our biology was never meant to be thrown out of homeostasis for such a long extended time. We live in a culture where between our jobs, family, economic problems, and social pressures and manipulation, it's impossible to get outside from living in response to our environment. Are you living your life in survival? Do any of these points sound like you? You are always on the edge. You feel heightened at the slightest cause. You are unable to relax. If so, I used to be right there with you. When we live in that space, the world and people around us look a little bit scarier. Studies have even shown how our perception of people's facial expressions we may cross on the street will even look less friendlier while in survival response. So what can you do? Willpower, positive thinking, and the just get over it advice isn't going to cut it. Often people try and fight this oldest and most primitive part of themselves only to push them further into anxiety and depression. Self-regulation at the nervous system level has been the missing point from most practices over the years. For immediate relief for triggering your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest, try becoming breath aware. I know what you're thinking, but this really does work. One thing I've learned through my journey is that people tend to make things more difficult than it needs to be. Some of the most effective tools and modalities have been the simplest of ones. Periodically through your day, take 2 minutes. Become aware of how you're breathing. Breathe in through your nose slowly. Make sure your belly expands. Pause gently at the end of the breath and then slowly exhale through the nostrils again, and the belly will come back in towards the spine. As each time you practice, you slow your breathing down even further. Then your brain and body will receive the message through your nervous system that you are safe and you can get back to life in a much more productive and enjoyable way. If you think you have lived in survival caused by possible trauma in your life, basic breathing and meditation exercises might not be enough. If you are interested in hearing what modalities I use to help heal women held back by trauma, please follow and stay tuned because there will be a lot more tips, tools, and relief content coming soon.